Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to News 3 Now live at 4 on this Wednesday.
Did you pack away your winter gear yet?
Well, it's something. All that rain is the last thing that farmers need
No,
as well.
that's right. And later this hour, Farm Director Pam Jahnke is going to be here to take your calls. So if you have a question for Pam, be thinking about that, and Mark and I will let you know when it's time to call in.
We're starting to fall behind on the planting season.
Yeah.
So, all right, we'll tell you what number to call, as Susan just said. But first, topping the news today, the Madison School District will have a new leader next year. Why Superintendent Jennifer Cheatham says she's resigning. Breaking news at the nation's capital. A House committee has voted to hold Attorney General William Barr in contempt. What's next in what's likely to be a legal battle over the special counsel's full report? And Lafayette County emergency management officials are keeping an eye on areas already damaged by flooding as the rain continues today. Let's take a look outside today. It was a raw day, cloudy and cold and rainy. And it was just pouring when I went home for lunch. Better days ahead, though. Oh, that's good news. How much farther ahead? Let's find out. Dana's in the backyard weather patio. It's not raining right now. That's good.
It's not raining right now, but it is chilly outside, and it is very windy outside right now. Looking at our visible cloud track, notice that thick cloud coverage all day long. It has just been dreary and rainy. Now, we do have a little bit of a break in the rain for us currently. But we'll have more showers moving on the way here in just no time. Showers just on the western edge of Dane County, stretching through Sauk and Iowa counties into Grant County right now. A little break again east of Madison, but we'll have another round coming through now, and then likely going to see the opportunity for some stronger thunderstorms to slide through later this evening. But a lot of moisture just pushing through the Midwest. Temperature-wise, if you could travel just a few hours south, it is much, much warmer. That front stalled just south of Wisconsin. We're at 49 currently in Madison, but 64 in Chicago and 79 in Springfield, Illinois. So a big temperature gradient there. Again, 49 in Madison, about 51 though in Monroe, and 50 in Platteville. Currently, that breeze coming from the east, 24 miles per hour in Madison. That's sustained wind speed. So those gusts into the low 30s for us right now. It definitely feels very chilly outside through the rest of the evening. Our temperatures are actually going to steadily climb for us. We'll actually hit our high early in the day tomorrow and then fall through the afternoon. A little backwards temperature forecast for us. We'll get about 52 around 8 o'clock with those showers and thunderstorms building back in later on today. But we'll take a closer look at what's ahead for your Thursday and Friday. And the sunshine that'll be moving back in here in just no time, in just a few minutes. Right now, we looking at the roads, actually aren't seeing too many hiccups right now. That's the good news for us. We are expecting things as you're driving through this evening to be fairly smooth. Eastbound side, we are seeing a few delays. Westbound, we aren't seeing too many delays right now. From Verona to McKee Road, that's where the biggest slowdowns are currently. Mount Horeb, you look just fine. And then right around the Janesville area, no spots of slowdowns right now, and no accidents to report. Of course, we're just waiting for more folks to hop on the roads. 27 minutes from Janesville to the Beltline, 17 from Sauk City to Middleton, and 16 minutes from Sun Prairie to downtown. So your usual commute, as long as you're staying away from the Verona Road, McKee Road area, should be pretty quick right now. But of course, give it another 20 minutes or so, and we'll probably be adding another 5-10 minutes onto that drive.
Hey, we'll get you out of that winter coat soon enough here.
It is so cold.
All right, Dana, thank you.
Well, a big change for the Madison School District.
Superintendent Jennifer Cheatham officially announced that she will step down from the role this summer. Our Kelly Arthur was there when she made the announcement today, and she joins us with more on Cheatham's reason behind leaving Madison. Kelly.
Yeah, and her decision came to a surprise. Was a surprise to many. She'll stay in until August and then heads off east, where she will be a staff member at Harvard. Cheatham was emotional as she announced her resignation at a news conference at Mendota Elementary today. She led the district for 6 years. She said it's the right time to leave. At Harvard, Cheatham will join the faculty at the Graduate School of Education. She will stay in she says this new job will allow her to make a bigger impact on education by training next generation leaders, while at the same time allow her to focus on her family more.
I'm ready to make a larger impact on the education field. You know, I've got a little 7-year-old. I like to be a little bit more of a mom, too.
At the news conference, I asked her if this decision had anything to do with the issues plaguing the district, including sexual assaults of students, as well as behavioral issues involving staff. Here's what she said.
I would say that there have certainly been some challenges this year. There are in every school year for a school district superintendent, and that is absolutely not my reason for leaving.
The district will name an interim at the end of this month. The Capital Times reporting that Nancy Hanks, currently the district's chief of elementary schools, will fill that role, but 3 school members I spoke with today would not confirm that. Of course, everyone is wondering who will become the official superintendent. School board members will vote on that decision. I spoke with a few of them about what they're looking for in Cheatham's replacement. We will have that story on News 3 at 6. And Cheatham came into this role from the Chicago school system. I asked the school board members if they're interested in bringing someone from the outside or having someone, who's already in the Madison School District, and they said they're open to looking from within.
Okay.
And an exciting assignment for her now too, as she moves into the future. That will be very interesting.
Back to Harvard, where she studied before she went to Chicago.
All right, Keely, thank you. Just into the Channel 3000 Alert Center, the House Judiciary Committee has voted to hold Attorney General William Barr in contempt after the Justice Department declined to provide an unredacted version of the Mueller report to Congress. This morning, President Trump asserted executive privilege over the report and its underlying evidence. He has vowed to oppose all Democratic subpoenas. Democrats have suggested that could prompt them to consider impeachment. Next, the full House will vote on holding Barr in contempt, and the courts will likely take up the fight over the Mueller report. Also developing this hour, the Senate Intelligence Committee has subpoenaed Donald Trump Jr. to answer questions about a prior claim that he had limited knowledge of an ultimately aborted plan to build a Trump Tower in Moscow. Trump Jr. testified in 2017 that he was peripherally aware of an effort to build the project in Russia. Trump's former personal lawyer, Michael Cohen, told a House committee earlier this year that he had met with both with Trump Jr. and his sister Ivanka approximately 10 times to discuss the Trump Tower plan.
Investigators in suburban Denver are interviewing witnesses today, trying to figure out why 2 students opened fire on their fellow classmates. Police in Colorado say the 2 suspects in today's school shooting opened fire on fellow students with at least 2 handguns. 18-year-old Kendrick Castillo died and 8 others were wounded. Castillo was scheduled to graduate in just a few days. Police say a school security guard subdued 18-year-old Davon Erickson. He made his first court appearance this afternoon. The second suspect, a juvenile female, surrendered to police.
He did not exchange any gunfire with them. I believe one of them was restrained when the deputies came in contact with him.
We're going to take care of those who are down and pick ourselves back up. But who we are is we are a kind, compassionate, caring people. And this does not define us. It won't today and it won't tomorrow.
The STEM school is closed for at least the remainder of the week.
The State Assembly will vote next week on a constitutional amendment to strengthen crime victims' rights. Both the Assembly and the Senate passed Marsy's Law in 2017. That duplicates existing victim protections, and it adds things like the right to attend and speak at court proceedings and the right to refuse defense attorneys' interview requests. If the amendment passes the Senate this year, it would need to pass a statewide referendum, and that could be on the ballot as early as April of 2020. Also at the state capitol, a proposed bill would allow workers to keep cash tips tax-free. The bill would allow workers to keep cash tips unreported on their state income tax returns, but they would still have to enter those amounts on federal returns. The bill is authored by 2 Republican lawmakers. They say the change would ease financial constraints on low-income workers.
Assembly Republicans are upset about Governor Evers' decision to grant temporary raises at a handful of the state's prisons. Evers' state budget calls for spending an additional $23.8 million to set up a pay progression system for corrections workers, but now the Evers administration has given temporary raises of up to $5 an hour for workers at 6 state institutions. 19 Republicans sent a letter to Evers today calling the raises unfair and saying pay increases should be addressed through the budget.
The National Weather Service says several counties in southwest Wisconsin are at risk for both mudslides and rock slides.
They say groundwater from past flooding could lead to this runoff. Adam Dexter joining us in Darlington with what the risks are there. Adam?
Well, Mark and Susan, it was just a couple months ago that the water here along the Pecatonica River was in the major flood stages. And while the water has receded for the most part, Take a look at this. The ground is completely saturated and the banks of the river are starting to wash away, which has people worried about what just a little bit more rain could do. Now, earlier today, the National Weather Service issued a warning for all of the communities in southwest Wisconsin, warning them about mudslides and rock slides that could happen with just a little bit more rain. But again, in Darlington, the main concern is with an already very wet ground, what just a little bit more rain could do.
A couple inches is going to be noticeable, and we could have got by with an inch or two through a long period of time in the past, and wouldn't have been as significant as I think it will be with the current situation.
And Burgess says with the Pecatonica River banks completely starting to wash away here, she says that the main concern is any type of flooding. This river could actually alter course or flood completely differently in a way that they're not prepared for. So again, here in Darlington, they're hoping for some dry, sunny days ahead. But again, rain in the forecast. We'll continue to keep you monitored tonight at 5 and 6.
All right, Adam Duxter live in Darlington. Thank you. We'll see you at 5.
Former Packers general manager Ted Thompson has announced that he has been diagnosed with a nervous system disorder. In a statement released on Packers.com today, Thompson said his doctors told him the disorder is not related to CTE, a brain condition associated with repeated hits to the head. Thompson said the diagnosis was one of the reasons he stepped down from his role after the 2017 season. The announcement comes after Thompson was inducted into the Packers Hall of Fame on Saturday.
And tonight, the Milwaukee Bucks will work to close out their Eastern Conference semifinal series against the Celtics. The Deer have a 3-1 lead in the series and have lost only one game at home so far this postseason. Tip-off 7 o'clock at the Pfizer Forum. Melissa Kim will have a live report for us coming up on News 3 Now at 5.
It's been an exciting series. Let's wrap it up.
They got a long way to go.
Yeah, I know. That's true. That's true. Coming up next on Live at 4, we're talking about a new book that will appeal to both history buffs and nature lovers.
We'll introduce you to Wisconsin's Nature Army that came about after the Great Depression and ask local author Jerry Apps how they shaped our state's parks as we know them today.
You're watching News 3 Now, live at 4.
Uber and Lyft drivers in 8 major cities are on strike today, including New York City, Los Angeles, Chicago, Boston, and Philadelphia. The drivers say founders of the ride-sharing companies have gotten rich, while drivers are labeled as contractors and denied full employee benefits. The strike comes 2 days before Uber's initial public offering on the New York Stock Exchange, which is expected to have a valuation of more than $80 billion.
Walmart says it'll increase the minimum wage to buy tobacco products to $21. This comes as the retailer faces pressure from federal regulators to curb sales to minors. The change scheduled to start July 1st. Walmart also told the Food and Drug Administration it'll stop selling fruit and dessert-flavored e-cigarettes altogether as part of a plan to prevent minors from buying tobacco. Stocks ended mostly lower as trade uncertainty keeps investors unsettled. The Dow Industrials managed a 2-point gain to end the day at 25,967. The Nasdaq Composite Index lost 20. The S&P 500 gave up 4.
A new book is highlighting Wisconsin's nature army of the 1930s, the young men who worked to shape our state parks and natural areas.
The Civilian Conservation Corps was part of President Roosevelt's New Deal program, and here to talk more about their impact is author and UW Professor Emeritus Jerry Axe.
Good to see you, Jerry.
And here's the book.
I'm glad to be here.
So, how did this idea get going here to write this book?
Well, I get ideas from all over the place, of course. Everybody has an idea for me. And a bookstore owner in Wausau. We were in Minneapolis at a book fair, and she said to me, "You ought to write a book about the CCC." I said, "Why should I do that?" She said, "Well, there are a lot of people in the North who don't know the story," and it's true.
Well, it's a part of our history that people should know.
A very important part of what was going on during the Great Depression.
So tell us about the Corps.
Well, it was something that FDR started. One of the first things he did when he took office, and he was elected in '32, and in '33 he was president, and he called together a special congressional meeting, and he said, "We've got to do something about these thousands of young men and other people too, of course, that were out of work." We had 25% unemployment in this country at that time. And so he organized, he knew about something like this when he was governor of New York. And he said, we should put together something to save the young people of this nation. And interestingly enough, in 1933, the CCC, the law was passed 4 weeks after the Congress got together, and by April, the CCC was in operation. Unheard of.
Wow.
Absolutely unheard of.
How many camps were there in Wisconsin?
We had about 125 at one time or another.
What kind of work did they do?
Well, a lot of reforestation, because at that time, much of the North Woods had been logged off. And it was a big cutover area, as it was called, with stumps and gullies and everything like that. So they planted thousands of trees in the north. They also introduced soil conservation to southwestern Wisconsin, the driftless area in particular, that hill country. And they introduced farmers to strip cropping and contour farming to save the soil. They helped construct and reconstruct national parks all over the state, and county parks as well.
In this book, do you introduce us to some of the members of the Corps?
In fact, I was fortunate in getting a set of journals that one of the young men kept. It was unusual. He happened to be a college student, dropped out of college, and that was very unusual because there were a number of CCC boys that were illiterate, but this guy happened to have spent a year in college, and he kept a journal. I had access to those journals, and I have some of that in the book. It is fascinating what the day-to-day life would be, especially in the North Woods when it's 45 below zero this morning.
Right. We're seeing some old photographs of the camps here. It changed the face of the state.
It did. There's the cover of one of those journals.
Look at all those guys.
It did. It introduced the country to the need to take care of the environment. We thought at that time that the North Woods would be here forever, and that you didn't have to worry about taking care of the soil. It would be here forever. How wrong they were at that time. And the Depression helped us see that things were really going south all over the country, including Wisconsin.
The irony of that. Economic depression.
Oh, it was terrible.
Open our eyes.
It was awful. There are 250,000 young men without work, 250,000. And they were riding the rails across the country, looking for a sandwich, looking for any bit of work that they could find, get a roof over their head and something to eat. We have no idea what it was like. I happened to be born during that time, so I met some of those people coming by, walking by, rapping on the door. Can I chop some wood for you? Can I do anything for you because I'm hungry?
Fascinating. The Civilian Conservation Corps in Wisconsin, you have a book event coming up. It's at Arcadia Books in Spring Green tomorrow at 2 o'clock. And then also the Verona Public...
No, that's not quite right.
That's all right.
Let me, I got the notes here.
Okay.
I got to get it straight. I'm going to be in Wild Rose tomorrow night at 6 o'clock.
Okay.
And on the 11th, I will be in Arcadia. That's on Saturday. And then on next Monday, I'll be in Verona.
Okay.
Okay, so good.
We're close.
Jerry, good to see you.
Jerry, great to see you.
On the book.
Thank you so much.
All right.
Congratulations on the book.
Thanks.
We'll be right back. Take a look at this. Anna is quickly regretting her decision to see if she can fit inside a suitcase. As soon as she starts climbing back out, the cat attacks her head and legs. Anna grabs a blanket to try and protect herself while screaming for help. Pictures show that she suffered some serious cuts to her legs and face. Look at that. Anna has owned the feline for 7 years and says he's never been aggressive until now. She's thinking he didn't recognize her and thought she was an intruder or maybe a giant suitcase monster.
Clearly a suitcase monster.
She needs Jackson Galaxy to come, and do you know who that is? The cat whisperer. He sort of helps.
And then he chases it, and there's another cat.
Do you see how puffed up their tails are? They were not about that situation.
Why was she trying to go into a suitcase?
There's a lot of questions.
More questions than answers this afternoon.
For Star Wars fanatics, Disney announced it's producing 3 more films that will hit theaters starting in 2022. It's also working on 4 Avatar films. The first movie came out in 2009, and the second will be released in December of 2021. Star Wars has made roughly $9.5 billion at the global box office since 1977. The first Avatar movie is the highest grossing film in history, bringing in roughly $2.8 billion at the worldwide box office. It's wild.
That is a lot of money.
That's a lot of money. Well, Mother's Day is Sunday, and if you're looking for gift ideas, here's a pretty simple one for you guys. According to Care.com, one of the things moms want most is just some time alone. This year, Kraft says it will reimburse the cost of a babysitter up to $100, so mom can take the day completely off. You can read all the rules at craftmothersdayaway.com.
Really? They're going to pay $100 to everybody?
I think Mama Fulton is jealous this didn't happen a few years ago. She would have been all about that. But yeah, craftmothersdayaway.com.
What Mama wants is to be left alone.
Just leave her alone.
Leave me alone.
$100, that'll give you a few hours. Yeah, you got some time.
Hopefully so.
Yes.
All right. Hopefully the weather will be better by Mother's Day.
By Mother's Day, things actually are looking a little better for us. Yes, of course, today a little dreary, tomorrow a little dreary, but by the weekend, conditions are definitely improving. Outside right now, we have a cloudy sky and the chance for more showers and thunderstorms moving on in. We'll take a closer look at that forecast right after the break.
Thanks for moving it.
It's a little cloudy outside right now, also a little windy and a little chilly for us currently. Here's a live look from the WIC TV Skycam. A few raindrops actually on our camera right now, though most of the heavy rainfall is to the north of us. We have showers right now through central and northern Wisconsin. Here in southern Wisconsin, a few scattered showers. I was just outside. We didn't have any raindrops falling at the time, but as you can see, we do still have some scattered showers coming on through, and we may have a line of storm sliding through later in the day. So in the last 24 hours, we've picked up a few tenths of an inch around most of Dane County. A few areas a little closer to a half of an inch. The further west you go, those totals getting just a little higher around Viroqua and Prairie du Chien. Those totals closer to about a half an inch. Again, isolated areas picking up just a little bit more in the last 24 hours. The eastern edge of the state, though, not seeing nearly as much accumulation. This is all as an area of low pressure continues to slide northeast, bringing these showers throughout the plains in the Midwest. And the showers including some heavier rainfall at times, also a few thunderstorms for us. Warmer air to the south under this warm front, but we've got the cooler air to the north right now. It is chilly outside today. We're about 20 degrees below average in Madison right now. Again, that warmer air is really going to stay down there through the rest of the night. Will be a little better by tomorrow. But then that trailing cold front crosses over and we aren't expecting temperatures to hop up too much for us. So the center of that low pressure drives towards Wisconsin. We still have showers overnight and into early Thursday morning. There's a chance for some scattered showers early in the day, and then likely not going to see as much rainfall later in the afternoon and evening. A slight chance for us Thursday night heading into Friday morning, but most of that rain is to the northeast. It's going to be pretty cloudy outside for Thursday and early Friday, but our skies will gradually become partly sunny by Friday afternoon. The afternoon, it really won't be too bad, or a breeze switches, so it becomes a little more southerly by Saturday, and temperatures for Saturday and Sunday are going to improve greatly. Our severe weather potential tonight is favored to the south, but we do have that little marginal risk just crossing right on over the state line. Not a great chance for us tonight, but we could see some very strong wind gusts and again that heavy rain threat picking up later on in the day. Scattered showers expected for the next several hours. There's that evening line sliding through right around 7 to 9 o'clock. We'll see the heaviest rainfall, and there may be another line coming through early tomorrow morning. You'll need the windshield wiper blades early in the day, and the scattered showers stay with us until about noon, and then in the afternoon we just have a cloudy sky. Our temperatures will actually fall during the day behind that cold front sliding through. By Friday, we are becoming partly sunny, and it really shouldn't be too bad in the afternoon on Friday. Temperatures will hop up a little more for us. As far as our rainfall totals, we're going to continue to pick up just a little more rain. Notice those bands heavier to the north and then right around the Madison area, another quarter to half an inch expected. So tonight, our alert day is still in the forecast. Showers and a few thunderstorms possible, and locally heavy rain at times also possible outside. So if you do have to hop on the roads at all, just give yourself a little extra time to slow down, of course. So our overnight low, kind of 48 degrees, but we're going to be there here pretty soon. Our temperatures are actually going to hold pretty steady and slowly rise overnight. Tomorrow, that high temperature of 59, we're going to hit very early in the morning. Of course, that warm front crosses, and then the cold front comes on behind it, and our temperatures are going to fall during the day. Showers and a few thunderstorms possible early on, and then temperatures falling. Our breeze at about 10 to 20 miles per hour throughout the day, so a little windy outside. Temps falling for us Friday. We're looking at highs back in the upper 50s with partly sunny skies. Saturday and Sunday, temperature-wise, it won't be too bad outside. Partly sunny with a slight chance for showers on Sunday. Really looking at most of that rain chance coming through overnight for Saturday. By next week, temperatures should be a little closer to average in the upper 60s for Monday and Tuesday with another shower chance popping back in. But it does look like that rain chance starting to diminish just a little bit, which of course is good news. We would like to just get some sunshine and a little bit of a drying trend for a few days. We haven't had that in a few weeks now with some dry weather in a row.
Yeah, it's been quite a spell. Quite a spring around here.
Quite a spring, a very cool, very rainy spring. So to hop up closer to 70 with some sunshine,
that'll be great.
Would be very good for us.
All right. Thank you, Dana.
All right, thanks, Dana. Prince Harry and Meghan Markle introduced their new baby boy as they posed for cameras today at Windsor Castle.
CBS's Ian Lee gives us a glimpse of the tiny royal.
Prince Harry and his wife Meghan couldn't take their eyes off their newborn son as they introduced Archie Harrison Mountbatten Windsor to the world.
Congratulations. Thank you.
Only 2 days old, Archie undertook his first rite of passage at Windsor Castle, the royal photo op with the press.
We're just so thrilled to have our own little bundle of joy and to be able to spend some precious times with him as he slowly starts to grow up.
It was just Harry and Meghan's love story when they got married behind these walls last year. But now, the American Duchess has a new man in her life.
It's magic. It's pretty amazing, and I mean, I have the two best guys in the world, so I'm really happy.
Much of the pregnancy was shrouded in secrecy, and even at the reveal, they seemed a bit reluctant to show too much.
Can we have a little peek at it? We just can't quite see his face.
Harry, known as a bit of a joker, couldn't resist taking a playful swipe at his son.
He's already got a little bit of facial hair as well. Wonderful.
He has the sweetest temperament. He's really calm and...
I don't know where he gets that from.
And the royal duties for baby Archie didn't end there. He also met his great-grandmother, Queen Elizabeth, and her husband. Meghan's proud mother was also at her side. Ian Lee, CBS News, Windsor, England.
Well, even though he was born a prince, the new baby won't become one unless the Queen intervenes. A rule from a century ago limits royal titles.
Isn't that interesting? I just want to see if the baby has red hair.
Yeah, but we didn't see that.
No, not yet. I'm sure we will.
Would he seventh in line?
Yes. Yeah.
Well, coming up next, CBD oil seems to be popping up everywhere, with advocates saying it's the solution to a number of health problems.
We'll look at how it's helping massage therapy patients. That's when Live at 4 continues.
Here's a live look from the Edgewater Skycam. Gray.
Does not look like May, does it?
No, there's not a lot of Mayflowers there. Well, CBD is a big trend in wellness this year. Some tout it as a wonder drug, able to stop pain, promote relaxation, and ease various body issues.
As Kenneth Craig discovered, some spas around the country are taking their treatments to a new level by adding CBD to massages.
Brianna Arrington spends her life being active. She's an actor and a personal trainer. So when she recently injured a muscle in her hip, it was a major setback.
an injury will definitely not only not allow me to do my job, but also it takes a little bit of me away, a little bit of me dies.
Physical therapy didn't help, so a few months ago she turned to massages using a cream infused with CBD, and she quickly saw results.
I'm here, twice a month, and I'm back doing the things that I like to do, back at Taekwondo, back lifting, using my body in dynamic ways.
The compound is derived from cannabis, but does not contain THC, the chemical that gets you high. And advocates believe it may be the answer for all kinds of health problems.
CBD is great for relieving inflammation and pain, and it's also good for relaxation and reduction of anxiety and stress.
CBD is popping up in drinks, snacks, and even cosmetics, but experts say it's happening faster than the science can catch up.
We're still at the beginning of trying to understand what CBD does in the body.
Dr. Margaret Haney at Columbia University Medical Center is internationally recognized for her research on cannabis. She says while she's excited by CBD's potential, right now there is little evidence to support its medical claims.
We don't know as scientists if it gets absorbed, how it's acting, what dose one needs. So there's so many unanswered questions. I need placebo-controlled evidence to be convinced.
Brianna believes it's only a matter of time.
It works great for me. It may not work great for everybody. If I feel better, I'm going to take that as a win.
And she says that's all the evidence she needs. Kenneth Craig, CBS News, New York.
It's important to remember that products made with CBD are not currently regulated by the FDA.
It's an interesting product, though, that's for
yeah.
sure. Getting a lot of attention. Well, if you have a question for Farm Director Pam Jahnke, now's the time to pick up the phone.
The number to call is 270-9933. Pam will take your calls. She's here in the studio with us when Live at 4 continues.
Still a bit dreary on our traffic cameras right now. We're seeing slowdowns on both the east and westbound side of the Beltline. This is a look at the Beltline right at Rim Rock Road. As usual, the eastbound side seeing a few more delays than the westbound side right now. No major accidents to point out as far as your speeds really start to reduce once you get past Park Street, but once you get past John Nolan, things actually pick up just a little more. Westbound, not seeing anything too bad, but Verona Road to McKee, of course, still quite congested. That 151 heading north, backed up quite a bit. Bouncing down towards Janesville, we aren't seeing any major delays at this time. A few slowdowns right there downtown as more folks hop on the roads. Nothing too bad. 39 and 26, that intersection also slowing down just a little bit. It'll take you 27 minutes to get from Janesville to the Beltline, 17 from Sauk City and Middleton. And our drive from Sun Prairie to downtown's gotten a little longer, about an 18-minute commute right now. That's a quick look at traffic.
All right, Dana, thank you. Farmers in Palmer, Alaska took to the streets to promote Alaska agriculture. It's the 3rd annual Drive Your Tractor to Work Day. More than 24 people drove from Glacier Valley Farm to downtown Palmer. Organizers say it's a fun way to celebrate the beginning of the season and honor the history of the industry.
It is so beautiful there, too.
Pam Yankee is here now. She just drove up in her John Deere.
We're taking your...
day like this, that's all you're doing is driving it to someplace, not going to the field.
We're taking your ag-related questions today for Pam. It's a great day to call in. The phones are wide open. It's 270-9933. These are tough days for our farmer friends.
Buddies, I tell you, you know me. We've worked together how long? And I really do try to always be a little bit uplifting when we get these opportunities to talk. But I'll tell you what, it is a beast out there. No two ways about it. I cannot find a good spot to focus in on. So it has been a real challenge to kind of keep things positive and, you know, trying to keep people keeping their fingers crossed and stuff like that. But I have been hit heavy with phone calls and emails and personal stories from people that said, yeah, well, Pam, today the cows went, or, you know, we're going to auction and stuff like that. So
it's heartbreaking.
It reminds me very much, I was in college back in 1982, 87. And that was the last time that we saw this kind of an economic skid for farming and in general across the United States. And with the exception of the lower interest rates we're dealing with right now, I say it feels exactly the same.
Really?
Exactly
and now
the same.
The delayed planting is not helping either. This weather is exactly what you don't need.
Exactly. That's right. You guys were asking me about delayed planting and how long before we hit other triggers. Well, it depends on the crop that you're trying to plant. For a lot of Wisconsin farmers, there's kind of a tiered effect. The crop insurance starts kicking in on prevented plant acres really probably as soon as the end of this month, and then kind of cascades through to the end of January, or June rather. So it kind of depends on your soil type, and it kind of depends on the type of crop that you want to try to grow and your crop insurance levels. But I don't want to have to start reporting on prevented plant acres, and I don't think my farm service agency offices want to start taking those claims either. So
what are the dates we're talking about here?
We're talking, I know in my mind I'm thinking June 23rd, but that could be my home farm. You know,
further north.
Yes, so you get an abbreviated opportunity the farther north you go. And I don't want to be fooling around with nothing by the 23rd of June, because remember, it's not just when we get it in the ground, it's when we have to try to harvest it too. So.
And the growing season's not that long, right?
No, well, if it's like this spring, what's it going to be like this fall? I don't mean to raise my voice, but I do mean to raise my voice.
How much corn's in the ground now?
7% as of Sunday.
That's it?
Well, listen, buddy, that's not, huh?
What should it be?
More. Well, no, seriously. Illinois is usually one of the top corn-producing states, and as of Sunday, they only had 10% in. Normally, they've got 70% in.
Wow.
All right, let's go to the phones. We'll start with John in Verona. Hi, John. What's your question?
Hey, Mark, Susan. This is Karch.
Oh, it's Karch.
Hey, John.
Yep.
So what's up, Karch?
Pam, how are you? Listen, last year we lost so many farms in Wisconsin, and I forget the number. And I'm just wondering if this year is going to be just as bad.
Oh, baby. You know, Karch, your point's well taken. Those were some numbers that you don't want to hear about. And remember, Wisconsin's, every year we have fewer and fewer numbers. So far this year, I believe, the last I looked, we've probably gotten about 200 more farms that we've lost since the beginning of this calendar year. And now, remember, when I say that we've lost the farms, that doesn't mean that the land is not going to be in agriculture or that farmstead's not going to be there. What I'm saying is that the cows may have gone to auction, to slaughter, to the neighbors, but generally speaking, that farm will still stay in the family. They may go to beef, they may try cash crops, again, to your point about the weather. So the farm doesn't disappear necessarily, but the animals may change or something like that. So thanks for the call, Karch. Good to hear from you, buddy.
Good to hear from you, Karch.
All right, let's go to Rob in Cottage Grove. Hi, Rob.
Hi, I have a question about the herbicide Roundup.
Yeah.
I see in the news it's a cancer-causing agent, but yet I see it in Menards and other stores. So what's happening? Is it still being used in agriculture?
Oh, big time, big time. It's glyphosate is the commercial name, or the chemistry name. Glyphosate is Roundup, and it is still used extensively in agriculture, and it's extensively used in lawn and garden treatments as well. So if you look at your labels, you're going to see it. That's that pump stuff that you play with, killing weeds and dandelions. Well, that's Roundup. And the Environmental Protection Agency just came out with a statement last week after all these talking lawyers on TV and said that they, again, have found no reason to believe that glyphosate is a cancer-causing ingredient. So they're going to battle it out in the courtrooms, but right now there's a lot of legal folks that are chasing that bandwagon so far to no avail. But thanks for the question. It's an important one.
It is. And we are out of time. You got lots of calls.
The phones are all lit up.
Why don't you stay on the line? Pam will talk to you off the air. Thanks for coming in.
Absolutely,
Fingers
buddy.
crossed for sunshine.
Let's do something. Some kind of crazy dance to get dry. Good to see you guys, too.
We'll be right back. More rain.
More rain. It is cloudy. It is cold outside. It is windy outside
right
now.
Is perfect.
Everything. We're just dumping it all in one day right now. Looking at our visible cloud track, you can see that cloud coverage all over the place for us. Currently, we have showers right now, mainly north of Madison. We do have a few sprinkle spots in the northwest corner of Dane County, but a stronger line, or at least a heavier line of rain showers right along the western edge of the state right now, stretching from La Crosse through Prairie du Chien and down towards Dubuque, Iowa. That line is going to just slide right out over us over the next few hours. That's going to bring our accumulation totals up quite a bit for us. We'll continue to see scattered showers overnight, but thankfully by Friday, we'll get a little sunshine back in the forecast.
That'll be very
Thankfully
nice.
Indeed.
Yes.
All right, Dana, thank you. And we'll be right back.
In today's Final Touch, it's going to be quite a Mother's